Hello and welcome to the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast with me, Clive Barber, and my good mate, Noel Tom. For the days when you can't ride your bike, there's always the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast. Watch out! This week we are delighted to be joined by Mark and Jamie, the lightweights. Mark and Jamie, the lightweight adventurers, and we're going to be finding out more about the 2023 Lightweight Adventurers Festival. We're going to be there. We're going to be running one of the stages. I hope you can all make it too. Take it away, boys.
Was it the Team Yaris one? I listened to that today that you guys put together. That was a really cool little podcast, and there was loads of plugs in that as well, but I like the story to it. It was all really cool.
It's a cool story from start to finish, and that's what carries everything.
And it's quite a tricky one because we were talking for about 2 hours because there was like 6 people on it. There was a lot of people talking over each other, and there was fucking Rory's in the background going...
At one point, there was this massive crunch.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Massive crisp. It was lovely. It was great. Should have kept the crunch in.
It's just eating crisps on the podcast. Brilliant. Yeah. Love him.
Yeah, he's got the loudest laugh in the world. So there's so much stuff I just had to take out because Rory was farting in the background or something, making annoying child noises.
Do you know what? I'm very looking forward to meeting you guys again at the next festival. I'm guessing the next meetup's going to be the big festival, ultimately, isn't it? ABR.
Mm. Oh, yeah, that's before yours, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, it's a month before, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've heard, but we've got to speak twice at that. We've got 2 slots. I don't know if you've heard.
We're talking now. We are. Oh, dear.
I don't like to mention it. They've only just confirmed it the last couple of days of solidly by the event organizer. But yeah, we're on. Is it the masterclass tent?
Seems fucking unlikely.
we quite like the irony of it.
Was it the London show that you did? How did you find that?
Mate, that was just incredible. You know, from start to finish, everything about it. You know what was really cool? We got sort of swallowed into the fold of all the adventure riders, and it made us feel legitimate, which was something else. Considering we were surrounded by all these round the world riders, people had done really incredible things, and then they just put open arms up.
They're a nice bunch, though, aren't they, as a whole?
Yes, coolest people. And people were bowling over to us and saying they were hoping to see us there and all the rest of it. It was really surreal in some senses.
How are you with that kind of thing? Do you get nervous about it, or are you
Normally quite cool because we teach and I've presented in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. But that particular day, I'm looking at Jamie's nod, we were a little bit nervous. Weirdly.
Well, it was the first time we'd done that sort of talk. It was easy at ours because it was our festival and say what we fucking want and just chat crap. We know that people are there and they kind of know us, but this was an audience that probably 90% had never even heard of us. And it was full as well. Like all the seats were full and we were giving a brand new talk. We'd not practiced it, because we're idiots. And we just went, here's 4 slides. Let's make some stuff up around those,
Let's talk for 30 minutes on 4 slides.
Yeah. But it actually went really well. There was, luckily we kind of resonate with a lot of ex-military as well, which we talked about that, and obviously just lightweight travel and trail riding and stuff. And people seem to love it, which was brilliant.
I did laugh at some of the responses because you put a Facebook advert out, didn't you, for the festival? And some of the comments you got back from people that aren't your people, the same way that we got the yawn comment from, people that don't follow you deliberately. And it's like somebody's moaning it was too much money. It's like 3 days entertainment. Jesus Christ, you pay more than that on a campsite.
We've had some really weird comments on that. The first one that you saw, too expensive. It's probably half the price of any other festival out there, or it's close towards. And then we had a few complaints from biker communities that we were a biker festival and a biker heartland. It's just not responses that you'd anticipate. Everybody's out there and everybody's entitled to their opinion. I get that, but...
So you remember my advice on what to do with these people, don't you?
I did remember it, yeah. I'm not going to repeat it. Do you want to?
Delete it and block the cunts. That's what you do.
And you get some people that absolutely love it and they fully understand and they get it. And then you get other people that, what was the other comment? You think you're better than everybody else because you ride lightweight bikes.
You see, you should do what I do. I have a man that takes care of all this. He does a brilliant job of it.
Hang on a minute. That's me, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't see any of this stuff.
Last year's festival, it was just perfect weather, a relatively small number of people. And pretty much everybody I spoke to absolutely loved it. Even Noel enjoyed it, and I thought it was great. I had a really nice time. But obviously, you're up in the stakes a little bit this year. But I guess before we get into that, for people that don't know what the festival is, let's just tell us what the Lightweight Adventurous Festival is. Tell us when it's going to be and where it's going to be.
So the Lightweight Adventurous Festival is a bit unique in its own sense. We celebrate lightweight, smaller capacity travel, trail, adventure, anything to do with that style of motorcycle. It's a bit of an undersold market in a lot of senses, isn't it? We set it in the Peak District, or right on the edge of the Peak District. 14th to 16th of July is the basic stats of it. But yeah, it's one of those festivals where there's lots of bigger bike festivals out there which are all inclusive, and they just get thousands and thousands of bikes. And it's always the lightweight community, the smaller trail riders, which not ignored, but certainly less spoken about, don't you think?
I mean, most of the media is all about big and medium weight bikes, isn't it, really? You look at people talk about the CRF MCN, and it's just a great beginner's little trail bike, excellent for popping to the shops or commuting to work.
That very question got asked the other day, is this an ideal starter or beginner bike? I suppose that's a good point to say that actually we don't limit any bike from coming. So just as long as you've got an interest in either having a minimal sort of packing list on the back of your bike, or you maybe want to get into more lightweight bikes and things like that, then anybody can come. We've had a lot of people sort of say, I've got a T7, am I allowed to come? Or hey, I've got this bike, am I okay to come? Absolutely, it's a biking community first. And I think you guys must have felt that last year, that people just were happy to be there talking about bikes and mingling with other people, all about bikes and sort of small capacity travel.
I was surprised last year just how many lightweight bikes there were, really. It was almost as if it had been sold as a CRF only festival, because there was a lot of them there, wasn't there? There's no need for it all to be like that. There's a lot of lightweight travel on a T7, really, isn't there? Almost.
And that's the beauty of it. I think we will have a lot of the CRFs and such again this year round. I hope so, at least. But yeah, if you want to turn up on I ride a T7 World Raid now. I'm a BBW, same as anybody else. But if I still want to pack minimum kit, then I'm still a lightweight adventurer. We've always said it's the principle, not a rule. I had one guy message me today saying, can he come along on his BMW GS? I'm thinking about getting a smaller trail bike and I want to pick up some hints and tips. Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what it's for.
I think I'm bringing the lightest bike to the festival this year out of anybody.
Go on, what are you bringing?
67 kilograms. Or kilograms, as we say
in England. Say here in
kilograms.
England.
A Beta 300 trials bike with a long range seat and tank on it.
Are you riding that all the way down?
Fuck off, no chance. It's either going on Noel's trailer or my wife's new van.
That'd be an interesting category for a prize, wouldn't it? The lightest bike at the festival, because you'd be a contender in that.
There's a subcategory, the heaviest man on the lightest bike.
You're very funny, aren't you, Noel?
Yeah, we're shaking up the format a little bit this year, because last year, let's be honest, it was really rustic. It was put together in 8 weeks, wasn't it? And it was, I think one friend explained it to us. We all know him, like a gay man's wedding reception. I loved it for that. And I smile because that's exactly the sort of family community we wanted to generate. So hit the nail on the head. But this year, understanding that we've had a full year to plan, we need to step up our game. And of course we have, with 10-fold, 20-fold. So yeah, we've got a couple of stages, and we're going to host one, and you guys are going to host one, and they're proper full-on stages in front of big stretch tents and all the rest of it. Noel, I'm seeing your face. It looked worried, man.
I am terrified.
I'm not. Sounds great. I love showing off.
At least you're only curating, inviting, organising the whole of one stage. So
actually, it's fine, isn't it? Because we're with very good friends of ours, aren't we? So it's absolute doddle for us.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's a good thing for people to understand. So we've got the two stages that Mark's talking about, or stage areas, should I say, that we've got one which is sort of celebrating the adventurous side, people who have done sort of round the world trips, or been to some far flung places, or quite interesting trips that they've done. And that's the sort of the adventure stage. And then we've got the creator stage, which is obviously what you guys are going to be hosting. So like you say, some good friends of yours who I'm sure you've featured on some of their films, and obviously some guests that you've had on the on the podcast, and so I'm really excited to listen to some of those guys chat as well.
Should we go through who we've got coming?
I'd love
Yes,
to hear.
please.
It's going to be very interesting for me.
So we're going to do something, and I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet, and I'm not sure whether we're going to do something it's just the two of us, because normally when you do a podcast, it's not just us talking. It's we're an interview podcast mainly. So
Well, I've scheduled you in a slot, so you need to find something to do.
okay,
It's not our puppetry of the penis routine that we do, is it? Not doing that again. That was a nightmare.
speaking of tiny puppets, Greg Villalobos is going to be on our stage. Thomas Hansen is coming all the way from Norway,
Yes.
which is going to be fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to meeting Thomas because he is obviously a really nice bloke. So we're probably going to meet him off the ferry in Newcastle. I've booked pretty much the whole week off beforehand. So we're going to pick him up from the ferry port, terrify him across the lanes of Northumbria and Yorkshire into the Lake District, and before we head down south.
So he's riding down. I thought for a second, when you said pick him up, I thought he was flying in, but he's riding.
I think that's the plan. We haven't finalised these details yet because obviously it's some way away. That's the idea, that he comes on his bike and we make a holiday of it and show him around some of the UK's finest lanes.
Great.
We've got Will Collins, who, if you haven't followed him on Instagram, you should. He's an amazing former professional photographer turned terrible motorbike rider, but he takes some fantastic photographs in between falling off his bike. And then we've got Andre from Peak Motorcycles. We met him at ABR last year and sort of chatted to him. I said, I do this podcast. I don't listen to podcasts. And since then he had a listen, and he's like one of the biggest fans on our Facebook page now, which is really nice.
Yeah, we managed to see Andre down in London when we were at the show down there as well. He stayed down there for the whole 3 days, and he's got a few YouTubes out about it. But yeah, he popped across to chat to us several times a day, with a coffee, and he's such a cool guy to chat to. He loves his bikes as well, doesn't he? So he's so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, world's nicest man.
He does some great content as well. I insist that he brings his weighing scales with him. And we're hoping for one more surprise guest, but I'm not going to say who he is because he's not confirmed yet, but fingers crossed we'll get this other guy as well. And then the final thing, we're doing our awards presentations as well. We're going to announce the 31 finalists. We're going to have to think of anybody that comes along. We'll present them in person, but most of them, I think, will just be flicking through some PowerPoint slides announcing who the winners are. But I think that'll be quite interesting to people.
I think it'd be brilliant. And some of the subjects you've included in that are real world things that people actually want to know. And it's. So I think, and the fact that it's all being voted for by the people, is it all closed off now, all the votes? So they all finished?
The final votes are still open. Yeah, we've had a huge amount of votes in the finals category. And I even find myself, because I'm a glove obsessive, I've actually been looking at all of the 5 pairs of gloves in the final, thinking, which ones do I need? I've got 2 of them already. Do I need the other 3?
How are you finding the organising of it? Is it a lot less stressful than last year?
No.
I'll jump straight in and say categorically not, because now we've had 12 months to go through the ringer. If anybody says that organising an event isn't stressful, call them an outright lie to their face. It is a roller coaster. Highs, lows, stresses, elation when something pulls off and you get a bit of a scoop, and everything in between.
And more stressful than last year?
Yeah, 1,000 times.
Oh,
1,000 times more. Because this year there's so much more self-induced pressure to give extra value for money. People are paying that little bit more than last year. But plus, this year, we haven't got the excuse of saying, hey, we put this together in 8 weeks. No, lads, you've had a year like everybody else gets. So the pressure's on. It really is. And organising guests and sort of leveraging their goodwill to come along and travel.
Sorry about that.
No, brilliant as well. Brilliant.
One of the biggest stresses is trying to balance off that booking things in, but you don't get the money. Most people don't buy their tickets, or not say most. A lot of people will wait till later on in the year or close to the festival to pay for their tickets or buy the tickets. But what that does for us is that we're booking all these things in, all the generators, the toilets and everything else, all the stuff that you just expect to be there, hiring of stretch tents and this, that and the other. And then you just kind of going, well, I hope we sell the tickets. Because now we've got a big bill.
That's definitely the case, yeah.
You've got to be confident selling out, aren't we?
We've actually sold really well. And at the moment, tickets just seem to be flying out. We're pretty confident now.
We're selling the tickets in phases, what we're calling phases, and we are 93% of phase 1 complete. I think by the end of next week, we'll be moving into phase 2. And really what that means is we'll be then releasing them in batches up until our pre-designated limit. Yeah, they're selling out quick, which is great for us.
So you mentioned already some of the big changes for this year. So you've got bigger marquees, stretch tents, bars, a cinema area, 2 stages. Tell us a little bit more about those things.
Ultimately, we're just expanding the feel of the festival, not necessarily the people, not necessarily necessarily the feel and the capacity, because everything's going up, but we want to give it a proper festival feel while still trying to maintain that rustic sort of approach to things as well. So we've got 2 big massive stretch tents hired in by the Empty Quarter, coming down from York to help us out. They were sort of founded by bikers in Dubai, which is incredible. With stages on either end, we've got the workshop area, and we'll go through some of the workshops that we've got. Rich is coming back down with his bar, who supplied the Horsebox bar last year, which worked for 100 people, but not going to work for the amount of people that we've got this year. So he's laying on a full beer tent.
We still need to figure out a name for, don't we? Oh. I don't know if you guys saw it, but we had a couple of really cool suggestions. We wanted to come up with a name for the bar. The suggestions we've had so far was somebody...
I think I put about 4 in.
Did you say Adventure Spoons?
Yes.
I think was one of them. There's somebody else came back with Tyre Spoons, which made us laugh so
brilliant.
Much.
Absolutely brilliant.
If there's anybody that has a suggestion, drop it into the comments and let us know, because it's still up for grabs. Tyre Spoons is winning at the minute, and I can't remember who said that one. But
yeah, we'll find it. So apart from the beer tent, which we understand is a central part of the festival, we've got some bike dealers coming along this year. Not dealers, manufacturers, I should say, to sort of display all their newer stuff. So we've not gone for the regulars, if that makes sense. So we've got Sinis are going to come along with their 125 range. They've got some new bikes out. We've got Calfen, who are bringing out an electric trail bike. We've got Zero with all their electric bikes. So we've gone quite EV heavy because, I think that's a pretty cool market. But then to counter that, we've got Judd Racing KTM. They're going to bring 5 of their KTM Huskies. Got a trail school taking people out. We've got a few other manufacturers who are, I hope, going to come along, but I'm not going to announce them here. That will be for another time. But really cool, Joe Mercer from Desert Rose Racing is going to bring a couple of bikes. And he is bringing a full factory KTM rally bike, which I cannot wait to see. Yeah.
Along with his big old juggernaut lorry that they cart it all around in as well. So we asked him, we said, how much space do you need? And he just went, loads. Cool. You have got it, mate. You've got all the space you need. So nice big rig and the rally bike and everything's going to be so exciting to see.
And then we've got some traders up and down the centre, so that's going to be pretty cool.
Do people need to bring cash?
There is 4G, but probably with a few hundred people in the field, it's going to be a bit chocker, isn't it? So cash is always advised,
Last year, you provided a GPX for people to go and do ride outs, and obviously now the festival has got bigger. There's massive insurance issues with doing that, which is presumably why you're not offering the same thing this year.
There's a couple of reasons why we've not gone for it this year. Last year it was really successful, although there were certain areas that people struggled on. But we didn't realise that there's an element within the Peak District where, I wouldn't say precious, but they're concerned about having too many people out on the trails at the same time. And it's a bit of a contentious area for trail riding. I know the TRF do a lot of work out there with trying to appease locals and keep the trails kind of relatively good for the locals as well. We weighed it off against what we were going to do. And if we're going to have 2 or 3 times the numbers sending everybody out into the trails, when we were chatting to the TRF, didn't seem like the sort of thing we wanted to do this year. So we've decided to go a slightly different way. We're not going to put a specific trail route out this year. It's not about that. But what we have done is we've bumped up everything else in the festival so people don't have to. There's no big gap now. There's going to be speakers and entertainment on for the whole weekend. But that said, we're still on the edge of the Peak District. And if people have the desire to go out and ride the trails, go out and do that, that's absolutely your choice. There's no reason why we'd want to stop that from that perspective. And we've got the trail school coming to actually give proper guided ride outs with an instructor to teach people the skills to ride properly on the trails as well. So we've gone a slightly different way this year. But if you're expecting to just buy a ticket and then be taken out, that's not really where we've gone this year.
I mean, it's much more of an event this year, isn't it? So
certainly.
I'm not keen to leave the field once I get there. I'd want to sort of stay there and enjoy it.
There's so much to enjoy as well this year.
And you know what? You're not allowed to ride drunk anyway, Noel. So
oh, you're kidding.
Do you need any volunteers or anything like that to help out during the weekend?
Yes, our festival needs you. We're actually putting together a bit of a working party, aren't we? Jamie's in charge of that, but we've got people volunteering, which is excellent. And we certainly need it. We need a few volunteers, don't we?
We do. We've got a few of our patrons have already got in touch saying, I'm happy to get there the day early and help set up, and happy to stay a day late and help the drawdown. And that's really appreciated. Yeah, if anybody particularly wants to help out, we are going to need a working party. We've already got some people because of all the stuff we're going to have there this year. We need a security party that's going to be awake through the night and kind of making sure that there's nobody sort of coming on to obviously rob stuff and things like that. So we have to look at that side of things more so this year than last year. But yeah, if there's any volunteers for a working party, let us know. So we're going to be on site from the Thursday through to the Monday. On the Sunday night, we've got our sort of Patreon after party as well. So those people that support the channel through Patreon, most everything's going to have disappeared, but we'll make sure there's a bit of booze and a bit of food knocking about. And that's the night where Mark and I can really indulge ourselves a little bit more because we have to stay sensible-ish throughout the weekend.
I've booked the Monday, but I haven't had my invite yet.
It's Patreons and VIPs. It's definitely Patreons and VIPs. Yeah. It's for the inner circle. That's for a fact. And that's how Patreons become the inner circle. And of course, the speakers are already part of that. So, yeah, Sunday night is the after party. It's by special invite.
Are we going to offer it to the TAMP podcast patrons as well?
Ooh.
You're going to need 3 extra sausage rolls if you do go down that road.
Do you know how many patrons we've got?
Can I count that high?
10, 20, 4, 26.
That's a healthy number.
That's good.
Yeah, I think 26 can join us. Yeah, I think what's really important to know is the Sunday night is just some people in a field. It is not a festival because it's not insured, it's not laid on, it's not organised. Some dudes in a field.
Yeah, it already sounds like it might be my favourite part of the whole weekend.
We've got a few ideas about what we're going to lay on. I spoke to Rich, the barman, today. So with the bar, we're doing a couple of cool things this year. We spoke to him and said, is there any chance of us being able to lay on our own beer this year? And he said, yes, I'll brew a specific Lightweight Adventurers Festival beer. We've got a name for that as well, haven't we, Mark?
We have. We're going to call it the Legless Lightweight. We took inspiration from Noel.
But Richard's beers are really nice as well. If you like, these new fashionable IPAs and hazy IPAs and things like that, his beers are really good.
So Rich is a guy who's local to where the festival is. He's got a microbrewery. He supplied all our beer last year, and he even, because we drank him out on the first night, he had to go and restock completely for the second night, which was brilliant. So he loved that, and everybody else did.
The last night, he had about 7 pints left in a barrel, and because there was a few of us still up, and he said, free beer if anybody wants it.
I was asking him about the Sunday night. I said, look, we've got this thing going on, and he's not sure if he's going to be staying on the Sunday night or not. But ultimately, his first line back to me was, I'll make sure you have beer. We've already had confirmation that Ben King is definitely stopping for the Sunday night. He's already booked his Monday off work.
Should have seen his face when I told him. It was like, oh, this is incredible. Oh, yes.
He'll have lost his voice by then, though.
Going to have a couple of new guests on the Traveller stage announced, I hope, within the next week or so. So watch out for that one. We've kept our cards a little bit close to our chest, but yeah, we've got some really cool people, some like legit travellers who have been around the world and done things, and all lightweight. So they're going to come and tell their stories, and all the workshops. By the way, we haven't even barely mentioned the workshops.
How did the response go to the films that you asked for?
Limited. I guess people are a little bit shy with sharing their travel films, but we've had a few people say they're going to actively make films for us, which is brilliant. We're going to have plenty to show. It's a tough thing. You put your artistry out there to be not judged, but people are going to make an opinion of it. And
just
it's difficult, isn't it?
Of the sort of duration, sort of film length that you were asking for.
Around about 10 minutes ish. Anything which is really 6-7 minutes up to 11-12 minutes. It just lets us get through a few, because if they're 20 minutes, well, we're not have time for all your speakers and guests. Can be royalty-free music. It can be paid music. We're fully licensed to broadcast all of that, so don't worry about any of that. Just show us your films. Yeah,
between speakers, if you just want to have a beer and just sit and chill and watch a bit of something, get a bit of inspiration, that's what that's going to be there for. And it's just going to break it up. The general feel of the weekend will be that there'll probably be something going on across on your stage, on the creator stage, and then there might be the speaker onto the adventure stage, and then a film being played, and then back to your stage, and people can kind of move around. All those areas are going to be relatively close, but allow you to kind of just get up, stretch your legs, grab a beer, grab some food or whatever, and just kind of, I don't know, just sort of mosey on through the day, really, generally drinking beer, listening to people and watching films. Doesn't sound that bad to me.
Sent your Iceland film in, Noel.
I should do, shouldn't I?
You really
try and give it another airing.
I hate saying it, but it is really, really good.
Oh, I want to see it now.
But you said we've not even mentioned the workshops, have we? And I even forgot it there about the 2 stages and the films and the workshops as well. That are
Workshops.
Yeah, we've got workshops. We've got some cool stuff on the workshops. We've got one guy, one of our good mates from the military, coming along to show you full-on military infantry bushcraft. He's going to show you strike a tarp and set a fire and look after yourself and pack all your gear away, tight admin and all the rest of it. Got Fern Hume coming along to do a £1,000 challenge, how to get around the world in £1,000 in a couple of weeks, stage by stage. Gordon Blackley, he used to race,
Got to get Fern on the podcast, actually, because I think it's lovely the way she's doing that. It's 2 weeks at a time.
Just ace. Yeah, she's got a cool story, just on her own. We've got Marsha, or Piston Pinup from Instagram. She's going to come along and tell us all about how shorter people can pack light and go on a lightweight adventure. She's a slightly more petite lady, so making sure everybody can do it.
We've got Ollie Crowley from about a rally build from Wrench Ride as well, so he's going to be talking about that. We've got Gordon Blackley doing trailside maintenance, and I think Will Collins is doing a photography element to it as well. So that was a side that when we put everything out last year, that was a bit that people said they wanted. They just wanted a little bit of a skills area for the sort of basic elements. It's nice hearing people do cool things and being inspired, but a bit of education is what a lot of people wanted, especially the people that are just starting out or moving from road to dirt, and just trying to understand what that actually is like, how you do that.
And then one of my final favourite elements that we've got coming in, Clive, I can't wait to see you there, mate. We've got Kate doing some bike yoga in the morning.
I really need that. Well, as long as it's not too fucking early, I'll be fine.
So get your best budgie schmuckers out, mate. I'm right behind you.
We spoke to Kate a while back, and I know a lot of people will probably go, what the hell are they doing? Why are they having yoga going on? But Kate is a bona fide biker, and she goes to ABR. She does all the yoga there. So if you've been to ABR's yoga, it's the same person. She's basically a biker, and she came up with a routine that's not yoga-y. It's not that traditional yoga style. All of her movements are to simulate riding your bike for hours on end. So she'll help you stretch off and build a little bit of strength in certain areas. And that's what she did on her longer trips. And she was the only one of the group that ultimately was okay at the end of the day. And everyone said, why? How come you're okay? And she's like, well, I just do this 10, 15-minute routine in the morning and it sets me up. So she's going to start to take us through that.
Just imagining Clive doing the downward dog. That's making me wonder, have you got St. John's ambulance on hand?
You don't need to imagine it. I'll show you if you want.
Yes, we actually do have two paramedics and potentially an ambulance on site. So I think we'll be okay.
One final thing, how do we get tickets if we haven't got them already?
Head on over to the Lightweight Adventurers website, www.lightweightatventurers.co.uk. Numerous buttons on there that entice you into buying tickets. £75 for the weekend, which I think is an absolute bargain. Or you can have a day ticket. We've currently got Saturday day tickets available. But actually, some people are asking for Sunday day tickets. We'll get Sunday day tickets on the website available as soon as.
Well, a massive thanks to Mark and Jamie for doing that. Hopefully we'll see a load of you there. If you do go, be sure to come and say hello. We'll be the ones that look like Noel and Clive. See you then. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you really appreciate what we do, you could consider supporting us on Patreon or buy us a coffee. Links are available on our website, which is tampodcast.com, tampodcast.com, where we also have a limited selection of branded stuff. But either way, please keep listening and spreading the word. See you next time.